What's up guys, Rushed Recaps here. Today we are recapping a 2022 horror movie, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Before you watch, please make sure to subscribe and like this video for more rushed recaps. At the beginning we are introduced to four main characters: Melody, Dante, Lila, and Ruth. They are driving in a Tesla to a town which Melody and Dante bought. While driving, they're stopped by two police officers who welcome them to Harlow and tell them to stay out of trouble. They finally arrive to Harlow and see that it's a ghost town. Lila is skeptical about the town, but Melody reassures her that it's gonna be a fresh start. The group meets their contractor named Richter, who is also a car mechanic. The couple tells him they're idealistic individuals who want to build a better world, so he calls them a cult. Lila points out the controversial flag and Dante gets irritated and wants to take it down immediately. Him and Melody enter the house, which used to be an orphanage, and Dante goes upstairs and he fails to remove the flag. When he comes downstairs, a woman suddenly appears and asks why they are in her house. In shock, Dante apologizes and Melody tells her they thought it was empty. Sitting down, they tell her she needs to leave because the buyers would be here soon. She defends herself by saying that she settled everything with the bank and paid what she owed. Dante tells her she's wrong and the lady refuses to show them proof. She insults Dante and he leaves and tells Melody that cops will deal with her. As she tells Melody that she can't ever leave her house, we are introduced to her son. As soon as the cops arrive, she has a heart attack and throws up. The police along with her son and Ruth drive to the nearest hospital. When they leave, a bus full of potential buyers arrives and the remainder of the group shows them around. On the way to the hospital, the old lady dies and her son starts getting aggressive and he finally snaps, killing both officers, so they crash. Meanwhile, an auction is being held at the town. Melody checks her phone and sees a message from Ruth that the lady has died. Ruth is still alive and she sees Leatherface carving his mother's face, which he later puts on. She tries to get help with the car's radio and the worker at the gas station realizes that the killer is back. Back at the van, the officer suddenly starts moving, so Leatherface finishes him. Ruth tries to save herself, but the killer sees her and kills her as well. Back at the town, Richter takes the keys of the bus and their car and accuses them of killing the old lady who they forcefully threw out of her house. He demands to see the deed for the woman's house. Dante starts looking for the deed, but he realized they left it back at the office. Later, the gas station worker calls Sally and tells her that Leatherface is back. Melody and Dante return to the old woman's house to look for the deed, but suddenly the killer appears and slashes Dante. Melody successfully hides in his room. Richter finds Dante walking out of the house and sees that he's bleeding. Richter goes in the house and starts fighting with the killer. Richter loses and while bleeding on the floor, he gives the keys back to Melody, who is still hiding under the bed. Meanwhile, Sally checks out the bloody crash site. Back at the house, Melody tries escaping, but Leatherface sees her and she gets knocked down by his hammer and he begins chasing her with a chainsaw. As she's screaming for help, her sister manages to get her out of the house and they run to the bus. A moment later, Leatherface gets on the bus and starts massacring everyone. Melody and Lila manage to escape through a toilet window. As they're running, Sally comes to their rescue, but instead of driving away, she locks them in because she wants to get revenge on Leatherface for killing her friends. She finds him in the house and she demands for him to say her name before she kills him, but he walks past her and he goes after the two girls. She comes to their rescue and shoots Leatherface in the arm, but when she tries to kill him, he escapes. She gives Melody and Lila the keys of her car and goes after Leatherface. She finds him and stabs him, but in the end he cuts through her. Melody tries to run him over, but he throws the chainsaw at the windshield and they crash. Melody gets punctured in the leg and Lila is unable to save her, so she runs. When Leatherface goes to finish Melody, Lila suddenly appears with a gun, but unfortunately it is not loaded. The killer runs after Lila and as she's struggling, Sally, who was barely alive, shoots him and he runs off again. Sally then dies. Lila goes after Leatherface to finish him, but she's lured into his trap and after he jumps on her, they both fall in the water. Lila manages to get out of the water, but soon after Leatherface jumps out and they start struggling. Lila gets flashbacks to a school shooting that she was a victim of and is unable to do anything, but luckily she is saved by Melody and they stop the killer. They get in their Tesla and as they are about to leave, Leatherface pulls Melody out of the car and kills her. The movie ends with Lila screaming. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel.